General Hospital spoilers for Thursday, June 11th are now available. Let's start with Carly and Valentine because my goodness, the tension in that room was thick enough to cut with a knife. There is Carly, standing in her own living room, practically vibrating with that fierce, terrifying mother bear energy we all know and love. She knows her baby girl, Jocelyn, has been snatched, and she is ready to burn the entire world down to get her back. But then we have Valentine looking her dead in the eye and delivering a chilling warning. Everything will change if we play this game the wrong way. Oh, the look on Carly's face was absolutely priceless, a mix of sheer desperation and that stubborn, defiant pride that always gets her into trouble. We know that devilish Brennan dropped a massive hint that Valentine needs to contact this mysterious Z for help. But Valentine is terrified, folks. He knows that calling in a favor from Z is like making a deal with the devil himself. I am telling you, Carly is going to push him, or worse, she is going to bypass Valentine entirely and make the call herself. When it comes to Jocelyn, Carly has never let a little thing like impending doom stand in her way. But this time, the fallout could destroy everything. And speaking of desperate moves, what on earth is going on with Willow and Brennan? I swear, my jaw hit the floor when Willow stood there, clutching that terrifying syringe filled with the lockdown serum, ready to inject the former head of the WSB. Our sweet, gentle Willow has found her claws, but she is playing a game that is way too big for her. She actually told him, "The sooner I give this to you, the better." She was ready to plunge that needle right in, but thank goodness Brennan has the raw strength and the quick mind to stop her. He did not just use physical force. He used the ultimate bait, Drew. Brennan knows exactly which buttons to push, and offering her information about Drew is a temptation Willow simply cannot resist. But I have to ask myself, is Willow completely losing her mind, or is she being subtly manipulated by Michael's dark influence? Michael is currently orchestrating his own twisted little game to push Willow and Chase together, and if Willow falls for Brennan's trap, it is going to blow her marriage to Chase wide open. Tracy warned her to stay away from the cracks in her marriage, but Willow is walking straight into a minefield. Now, let's talk about the absolute train wreck that was Portia's baby shower. Honestly, my heart breaks for how ruined this beautiful occasion became. Instead of celebrating the impending arrival of a sweet new baby, we had Curtis and Portia turning the party into an absolute battleground of unresolved resentment. They just cannot stop clashing. Curtis claims he does not want to start anything, but he refuses to back down, and Portia is just so wound up with anxiety over his trial and the threat of Isaiah's lawsuit. But thank heaven for Aunt Stella. When Stella stepped in, she did not hold back one bit. She looked them both in the eyes and told them straight up that their selfish, childish bickering is actively hurting their children. It was a harsh, necessary reality check. You could feel the weight of her words hanging in the air. And frankly, it is about time someone called them out. But the real hero of this entire family mess is Trina. Oh, I could have cheered aloud when Trina showed up at the Quartermain boathouse and made her stand. She looked at her friends and said, "I don't want to be involved anymore, so I'm ending it here." Yes, Trina. That is my girl. She is finally choosing her own peace of mind over the endless, toxic cycle of her parents' drama. She has carried the weight of their mistakes for far too long, and watching her draw that boundary was incredibly empowering. Of course, Curtis and Portia are still too wrapped up in their own egos to see the damage they are causing, but Trina taking her power back is the best thing to happen to her character in months. She is stepping out of the crossfire, and I hope she stays out of it. But oh my goodness, the ending of today's episode left me utterly breathless and sick to my stomach. We have to talk about the horror at Windermere. Jen Sidwell, that absolute monster, went into a complete rage when he realized his blackmail photos of Laura and Sonny were missing from his safe. He immediately blamed Lucas, and before anyone could even blink, he fired multiple shots directly into Lucas. Seeing Lucas collapse to the ground, completely still, was absolutely devastating. And then we had Laura sobbing and desperately trying to wake her friend, screaming for him to open his eyes. It was a gut-wrenching, agonizing scene that had me gripping the edge of my seat. But wait, folks. Is Lucas actually gone, or are we being set up for the ultimate twist? If you ask me, there is something highly suspicious about this entire scenario. We know Lucas has been setting a trap for Sidwell. Is it possible that Lucas anticipated Sidwell's violent reaction? What if Lucas was wearing a bulletproof vest? Think about it. He knew he was dealing with a ruthless criminal, and going in unprotected would be suicide. If Lucas wore a vest, he could have deliberately provoked Sidwell into shooting him, knowing that the gunfire would seal Sidwell's fate and lead to a definitive arrest by Chase. It would be an incredibly risky, death-defying gamble, but it is exactly the kind of heroic, desperate move a Port Charles doctor would make to rid the town of a menace once and for all. But even if it was a trap, the danger is far from over. We saw Dante receiving some incredibly bad news, and his face went completely pale. If Dante is getting the call about the shooting, the panic is going to spread through the Corinthos and Falconeri families like wildfire. Sonny is already on edge, having responded to Brooklyn's cry for help, and if he finds out Lucas has been shot on Windermere, Sonny's wrath will be absolutely legendary. Laura and Sonny recently celebrated a victory, but they strongly disagreed on how to handle Sidwell. Sonny wanted him completely wiped out, while Laura wanted to do things the legal way. If Lucas is truly fighting for his life, Laura might finally realize that Sonny's ruthless methods are the only way to deal with a monster like Sidwell. There are just so many moving pieces right now, and the suspense is absolutely killing me. Will Carly find Jocelyn's ring at Windermere and realize her daughter is trapped in the very place where Lucas was just shot? Will Willow succumb to Brennan's tempting offer and ruin her life? Or will she realize she is being used as a pawn in a much larger, deadlier game? And, most importantly, is Lucas going to survive this horrific shooting, or has Sidwell claimed another innocent victim in his quest for power? The tension is at an all-time high, and I cannot wait to see how these explosive storylines collide in the coming days. What do you think, folks? Is Lucas's shooting a clever trap, or are we about to mourn another devastating loss in Port Charles? Let me know your thoughts, and let's keep this conversation going.
Goodbye. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the GH Spoilers Daily channel.